I never imagined I'd be huddled in the dim glow of my living room lamp at midnight, my hands shaking like autumn leaves in a storm, as I sifted through papers that ripped my world apart. There, on my worn oak coffee table, lay the evidence: bank statements with unauthorized drains, checks bearing my forged signature in eerily perfect loops, and property deeds transferred without a whisper of my consent. But the gut punch came from a crumpled letter in my son's handwriting, dated just months ago, plotting with his wife as if I were a mere pawn in their greedy game. Once we get her committed, the house and accounts are ours. She's too trusting, it's child's play. My own flesh and blood. The boy I'd raised through hell and high water after his father walked out when he was just a toddler. The son I'd slaved over double shifts as a nurse to keep food on the table, skipping meals so he could have seconds. Too trusting. The words burned like acid in my throat. I set the stack down beside the sleek black box it had all spilled from, and forced air into my lungs. This had to be a nightmare. Some cruel mix-up. But no, the proof stared back. Unblinking. Let me rewind. Pull you into this mess. Because even now, with my life in tatters, it feels like a bad dream I can't wake from. It all kicked off that afternoon at the local diner, sunny side up, where I'd picked for its cheap lunch specials. Money had been tight lately, my savings dipping lower than made sense. But I'd blamed it on my scatterbrain, silly old me. Forgetting bills. Turns out, it wasn't forgetfulness, it was theft. Calculated and cold. My son, Mike, and his wife, Sam, had invited me out, which raised an eyebrow. They'd been ghosts lately, buried in their high-flying jobs as an engineer and a marketing exec. I was just thrilled to see my boy. Even if Sam came with her flashy earrings and her veiled digs at my thrift store sweater or my budget choice of eateries. From the get-go, lunch was a minefield. Sam kept dropping these barbs about my slipping memory, all wrapped in fake sugar. How I'd supposedly blanked on Mike's birthday, except I hadn't. I'd baked his favorite apple pie and called twice. But he swore it never happened. How I'd bungled my bills, no. I'd caught the electric company screw-up and fixed it myself. How I'd left the oven on multiple times, a flat-out lie. But she said it with such polished pity that even the server shot me a sad glance. Mike? He just nodded. My own son. Who knew the truth? Sitting there like a statue, letting her paint me as some doddering fool. Then Sam whipped out brochures for Oakwood Retirement Community. Glossy pamphlets she'd stashed in her designer tote like ammunition. It's a gem of a place. Beth, she cooed, her voice like honey over broken glass. You'd thrive there. With proper care, no more worries. I'm not worried now. I shot back, keeping it light. I'm fine in my home. Are you? Though? She leaned in, eyes like daggers behind that smile. Mike and I have discussed it, it's time to face facts. You're not as young as you used to be. Living solo isn't safe anymore. I turned to Mike, begging with my eyes for him to step up, to remind her I'm only 62. Fit as a fiddle. Running my own errands in the house Robert and I bought decades ago. But he fidgeted, mumbled about the check, and they both stood to pay, leaving me alone with a knot in my gut. Something felt off, like a storm brewing just out of sight. That's when she slipped in, a stranger, sharp-dressed but jittery, eyes darting like she was dodging shadows. She hurried to my table and slid a black box in front of me, sleek with gold latches. You'll need this tonight, she whispered, urgent and low. Your son isn't the man you raised. Open it alone. Somewhere safe. Don't let them see. I opened my mouth, who are you? But she vanished into the crowd, glancing back toward the counter where Mike and Sam were settling up. My pulse raced as I stuffed the box into my purse, hiding it just in time. They returned, oblivious or pretending to be. And the ride home was pure torture. Sam ramped up her pitch for Oakwood, Mike echoing every word like a puppet. They'd toured it behind my back, crunched numbers, even timed the best transition phase. Then Sam dropped the bomb. We could sell your house to fund it. You won't need that old place anymore. The area's gone downhill anyway. My house, the one Robert and I scrimped for. Where I taught Mike to tie his shoes. Where we marked his growth on the doorframe. Where Robert and I dreamed of golden years before cancer stole him 3 years back. They wanted to hawk it like junk at a yard sale. It makes sense, Mom, Mike said, avoiding my gaze in the mirror. You're aging. You need support. We're looking out for you. I bit my tongue, instinct screaming not to push. Instead, I clutched my purse with that mystery box inside, wondering when my boy had turned me into dead weight. Back home, I stared at the box for hours at the kitchen table. The woman's warning echoing, your son isn't the man you raised. I wanted to trash it, pretend it was a hoax. But those lunch lies, my failing mind, my confusion, they were building to something sinister. At 11:30, heart pounding, I flipped the latches. Inside, nestled in foam, documents, flash drives, photos, and a note on top. Sorry for the delivery method. Start with the drive, then read it all. You're in peril, they move this week. From someone who cares. I jammed the drive into my laptop. Fingers numb. What loaded made my stomach churn. Videos, emails, records, it all unraveled their scheme. And there I was at midnight, absorbing Mike's letter about how easy it'd be to fleece me. How gullible I was. How disposable. Just as the horror sank in, my doorbell chimed. Through the curtains, Mike's SUV in the drive. Midnight visits? Never their style. Then Sam's voice sliced the night, her lights on, she's up. Play the worried card. Get her to sign tonight if we can. They weren't here for comfort, they were closing the trap. I froze, my screen flickering with more files loading. The bell rang again. Insistent. Mike's voice, laced with phony fret, Mom? You okay? Lights on, we're concerned. Open up. My brain spun. They knew I was awake. Ignoring them would tip my hand. But letting them in? Suicide until I saw it all. I'm good. Sweetie, I called. Voice steady by miracle. Heading to bed. Late tomorrow. Silence. Thick as fog. Then Sam. Sharper. She never turns you away. Something's off. Mike. Louder, Mom. Please. It's urgent, can't wait. The first video popped up. Timestamped 3 months back. Grainy home office footage, Sam at a desk strewn with papers. Mike pacing like a caged animal. I've nailed her signature after months of practice, Sam said. Clinical as a surgeon. See? She pushed over a power of attorney form, my name. Spot on forgery. Ball rose in my throat. Mike halted. This feels wrong. Sam. She's my mom. A mom hoarding $1 million house in this market, Sam snapped. $350,000 in savings and stocks. Ours by right, we've earned it putting up with her. I paused the clip. Reeling. $350,000? Robert had managed our nest egg. I'd left it alone after his death. Too shattered. Outside. Pounding now. I hit play. She wouldn't cut us out, Mike muttered weakly. Sam's face twisted. Old folks get erratic. We're just nudging fate. The memory care spot's ideal, with our docs faking decline. We get guardianship. Clean transfer. Bribed doctors. My hand trembled on the mouse. They'd pay off pros to label me demented, docs I'd never met. Mike went quiet on screen. And I prayed he'd bail. But no, what about neighbors? Friends, they know she's sharp. My heart splintered. Not outrage, just fear of exposure. Sam grinned. Predatory. We've seeded doubt for 8 months. Everyone's heard our concerns, forgetfulness, disorientation. Even next door Nancy mentioned you seeming off last week. Seeds grow. Mike. Soon. Oakwood will look merciful. 8 months of whispers. Those helpful nudges to see a doctor, it was all theater to erode my credibility. The pounding ceased. Mike's muffled voice, 911? Yeah. 142, Elm Lane. My mom's not answering, but I hear her inside. She's 62. Early dementia signs. Worried she's hurt or wandering. Calling cops on me to bust in. Paint me unstable. Sirens wailed distant, stations close. Minutes tops. Panic surged. I yanked the drive. Stuffed it in my pocket. Crammed docs into my bag. At the box's bottom, a flip phone. One number saved. Note, call when safe. Ditch yours, they track it. Go off-grid now. Tracking. Mike helped with my phone last year after a dropped patient. Installing apps. Fool me. Red-blue flashes lit my window. Car doors slammed. Mike's act, officers. Thanks for rushing. She's been slipping months, defensive about help. I ditched my phone on the bed. Grabbed ID. Cash from my stash. The box. Back door to yard, loose fence slat I'd ignored. Blessing now. Voices at front, Mike's key turning, emergency copy I'd given years ago. I slipped out. Left it ajar. Let them hunt. Find the phone. By the confused wanderer tale. Through the fence to old Mr. Jenkins' yard, he's at his son's in Texas. Then the Millers. The Garcias. Emerged a street over. Lungs burning. 62. Fleeing like a fugitive from my kin. Absurd. Heartbreaking. For blocks on. A 24-hour truck stop I'd never hit. Ideal, they'd never guess. Inside, weary waitress. A couple haulers. I claimed a back booth. Ordered coffee to blend. Pulled the flip phone. Dialed. One ring. Woman's voice, the diner's stranger, safe. Who are you? I cracked. Fear bubbling. How'd you know? Laura Thompson. Your husband Robert's estate lawyer. Robert's lawyer? 3 years passed, estate closed. Not fully, she said. Urgent but kind. Beth. I've tried reaching you months. Voicemail full. Emails bounced. Realized Mike blocked me on your devices. Of course, more isolation. Laptop access, she asked. I set a temp email on diner Wi-Fi. Waited. Coffee cooling. Body quaking. Email pinged, video attached. I clicked Robert's face. Weary but fierce. From his final months. Stressed over papers I'd chalked to diligence. Beth. Love if Laura's sharing this. My fears hit home. Mike and Sam are after you. Tears blurred. Sorry, I'm not there to shield you. Sorry I saw this brewing and couldn't halt it. Shaky breath. 2 years pre-death. I overheard them in the yard, didn't know I was near. Sam pushing Mike to accelerate inheritance. Research on incompetency declarations. Like you were a hurdle. I stifled a sob. 5 years brewing? Confronted Mike, he denied. Said joke. But his eyes. Anger. Not remorse. Robert leaned in, took steps. All assets, house. Investments. Insurance in irrevocable trust. You sole beneficiary. Mike can't touch Sans, you're in person. Verified okay with Laura. Bulletproof. A trust, why their fakes would flop. Robert safeguarded from the grave. But Beth. Sam's dangerous. P.I. Doug, her ex's mom signed over estate. Then fell suspiciously in care home, $2.5 M. Ruled accident. Sam got all. Second fiancé's dad sniffed missing funds, she bolted. Third victim, me. Box has proof, records. PI reports. Victim patterns. Plus. Secret account at First Union, yours alone. $190,000 now from my side gigs Mike never knew. $190,000 hidden. I wanted to weep laugh. Robert. Always the planner. Sorry our boy turned this way, Robert choked. Teary. Don't know if we failed or Sam poisoned him. But be strong. Don't doubt yourself, you're sharp. Resilient. Fight. Beth. Fight and prevail. Expression steel. Don't trust him. He chose her over us. Protect yourself. Video cut. Diner tears flowed silent. Waitress sighed but stayed back, bless her. Laura on phone, more. Beth. Mike siphoned $90,000 from joint accounts, 18 months. Drips to evade flags. $90,000 filched while hugging me. Calling me mom. Alerted cops 2 weeks back. Detective Ramirez building case. But needed you aware. Safe. Approached at diner, time running out. Commitment papers for tomorrow. Tomorrow? Without the box. I'd be drugged in Oakwood by nightfall. Them looting Robert's legacy. Stay calm, Laura urged. Look to entrance. I did froze. Sam's BMW easing in. Her scanning like a hawk. Mike beside. Phone up. How? I hissed. Phone's home. Laptop, Laura grim. Mike, set it up last year, tracking baked in. My every move mapped. Sam's gaze locked mine through glass. Mask slipped, raw fury. Scheming. Then. Sweet smile back. Phone out cops? More smears. Ramirez 15 minutes out, Laura said. Stay public. No alone with them. But they entered. Beeline my booth. Sam slid opposite. Mike loomed. Silence heavy. Mom. Thank God, Mike said. Feigned relief. Cops said you wandered, scared us sick. Sam's eyes drilled. What's with the laptop? Late night work. I gripped coffee. Heart thundering. Just emails. Sam smiled thin. We need to talk Oakwood. Papers ready, sign. End the worry. Push now. Desperate. Mike shifted. Mom. You're not yourself. Let us help. Help? Rage simmered. Help like forging my name? Stealing $90,000. Their faces drained. Mike stammered. What? Sam recovered. Delusions. See? Dementia kicking in. But I hit play on a video snippet, their office chat. Sam's forgery boast. Volume low. But damning. Mike's eyes widened. Horror dawning. Sam lunged for the laptop, I yanked back. How? She hissed. Who gave you that? Doesn't matter, I said. Voice ice. Game over. Mike collapsed beside Sam. Mom. Sam said it'd be temporary. That you'd understand later. Betrayal stung fresh. Understand locking me away? Selling my home? Sam snarled. You ungrateful hag. We deserved it. Years tolerating your whining. Mask gone. Mike stared at her. Sam. Stop. But she raged. She was easy prey. Like the others. Rebecca Jones in Texas signed over. Then accident. $1.8 million clean. Ellen Wright in Florida, same play. But your dead dad had to meddle with trusts. Confessing wild, witnesses here. Diner door swung, Ramirez. Uniforms. Laura. Sam bolted, nabbed mid-stride. Samantha Reed. Arrested for fraud. Forgery. Elder abuse. Conspiracy. She thrashed. Screeching, Mike. Say she's nuts. Unstable. But Mike froze. Devastated. Ramirez, video. Banks. Docs bribe admissions. Plus interstate links, FBI's on your priors. 3 states? More victims. As they cuffed her, Sam spat at me. You ruined it all. 5 years faking the perfect in-law. Pretending to care about your drab life, I earned that cash. Hauled out. Still ranting. Ramirez turned to Mike. You'll come too, for questioning on thefts. Mike nodded. Tears, Mom. I didn't know her history. Swear. But you knew the theft, I said flat. He flinched. Yes. Sam spun it as advancing inheritance. We'd help you. I wanted to believe. 'Cause facing truth meant I was the monster Dad saw. Dad knew? Confronted me pre-death. We fought, I said awful things. Accused him of hoarding. Then his heart attack weeks later. Did I cause it? Stress from shielding me, possibly. Sorry. Mom. Useless word. But true. Ramirez led him away. Mike glanced back. Love you. No, I wrecked that right. But it's there. Alone with Laura. Hollow victory washed over. Got her confession recorded, solid case. I nodded. Numb. Days blurred, news exploded, local elder scheme busted. Sam's trail. 7 victims over a decade. Suspicious deaths. FBI dug deep. Mike cooperated. Plea, 3 years. Restitution. No contact order. I skipped visits. Calls, too raw. Sam's trial, 25 years. No remorse. Glaring daggers at me. 6 months on. Travel brochures littered my table, Scotland. Robert's dream. Neighbors apologized for buying the lies. One casserole from Nancy sparked real talk. Mending fences. Evening call, unknown. Instinct picked up. Mom. Mike. Hesitant. One call pre-prison. Understand if you hang up. I didn't. Listening. Silence. Then, no excuses. Therapy showed I craved easy riches over decency. Resented you for living while we struggled. Dehumanized you. Brutal truth, no blame shift. Worst, relieved when Dad died, plan could proceed. Monster admission. Lost my soul. Prison's chance to rebuild. Quiet, live for you. Like Dad wanted. Be selfish. Joyful. Tears fell. Not forgiving yet. Mike. Damage lingers, doubted my sanity. No, but owning it. Start. More than deserved. Call ended. I wept for losses, but seeds of peace stirred. 3 years later. Garden roses bloomed under my hands, Scotland twice visited. Art classes weekly. House mine. Reimagined. Community ties strong. Laura called. Mike's out early, good behavior. Oregon job. Fresh start. Won't contact unless you say. Relief. Unease mixed. Letter arrived via her, week on counter before opening. Mom. Thanks for reading. Sorry. Changed, words till proven. Owned choices, greed over family. Therapy unpacked shortcuts I chased. Starting honest in Oregon. No pleas. Just growth. Hope you're thriving. Free. I texted Laura, read it. That's all. Drawer with Robert's note. Not forgiveness. But closure. Brush in hand. I painted Dawn's gold, new beginnings. Survived betrayal. Chose life. Victory in thriving. Not vengeance's chill.